I'm just gonna
Well,
ignore
let's get started. Actually, you've started the recording.
The recording has started?
Yes. So
So they caught the part about me saying she's not that hot.
I think so. Well, no, they didn't get that. Hi guys, this is episode 26.
26. This is twice a baker's dozen. Why do they call it a baker's dozen? Do you know why they call it a
baker's dozen? Though?
Do you know what a baker's dozen is?
I don't know.
Do you know what a dozen is?
I know a dozen, of course. Come on, man.
It's 12, right?
Of course.
So a baker's dozen is 13 because there's this weird practice amongst bakers where if they're giving you like a dozen loaves of bread, they add. Did I just say erd? They add an extra loaf.
You sound like that chick who was. You remember that chick?
Trying to sound foreign.
We met this girl at Winning Post. I don't know if she listens to this.
She sounds like a sociopath.
Yeah, she was a complete sociopath. She was like, faking this weird accent from God knows where.
First of all,
telling us she's on cocaine, telling us the weed we're smoking is shit. She doesn't even know.
Let me just finish this point because I know we're gonna go on a tangent. So a baker's dozen is when the baker gives you an extra loaf. So instead of 12, you get 13. And the idea is if you want to retain a customer, and this is the same amongst bakers, is the same amongst drug peddlers.
Drug dealers.
You give them just one extra of the product so they feel like you went out of your way to make them feel special.
It's like a free sample, yeah. So
speaking of which, she did not give us a baker's dozen of her personality because she was just focused on making us feel like, yo.
She said she works for some startup and they're
like she's a software engineer.
She said she was a software engineer.
I asked her what language she uses. She said English. She did not say that, but I think she would have said that if I'd asked her.
Yeah, she had the weirdest accent. So she would say something like "erd."
No, but I did have a situation like that with someone else. Like, I had a situation like that with a friend's girlfriend. A friend's girlfriend told me that she does software development. I was like, what language do you use? Like, we use English. We're talking English. Like,
you remember that girl we met at one of these Amapiano events? She kept insisting that she was a front-end developer. It's as if she was trying to suggest something. I'm a front-end developer. Like, she was from the front end.
She kept saying she had a huge rack, though. Like, her boobs.
I don't remember it being that
her front end was pretty developed, is
big.
what I'm trying to say.
I don't think it was. I don't think her web was that well developed.
She was pretty cute, but anyway.
Just because she was doing front end.
Speaking of the sociopath, I think like I really want to it wasn't an Amapiano event. Let's just be clear. It was the butterfly effect at Winning Post.
Yeah, with Fene Gitu.
Yeah, the Fene Gitu released her album.
Music, to be honest.
I don't want to shit on Fene Gitu because
why don't you? It might be fun.
I mean, I personally think like I have no horse in this race. I neither like nor hate Fene Gitu's music,
to be honest,
and she was like a feature on that particular concert. So I'm like, okay, I don't vibe with this, but I mean, for you to get a whole feature at a whole concert, clearly some people vibe with you, and some people are even singing along. I forget that they look like close family friends, but there were people singing along is the point.
Yeah.
But then at that event, which is probably the first non-Amapiano concert we have gone to at
No, that was still Amapiano. It's just that they had like some Fene Gitu feature before the Amapiano.
Yeah, and a bit of house and whatnot. But what did stand out to me was that particular girl. So
that weirdo.
Yeah, she came to us. She actually walked up to us.
Out of nowhere.
We were not smoking weed in front of the stage. Yeah, like we were definitely not doing it, and it wasn't a particular strain of weed. I don't remember what the name was, but
it must have been one of the mid ones, I think.
Must have not. But yeah, so she came up to us, and while we were not smoking weed, she asked to not smoke weed with us.
Yeah.
And she was like, guys, this isn't it. I'm like, what do you mean this isn't it?
It's like you're smoking fake shit.
It's like, this is fake shit. I've smoked weed, and whatever you're not smoking right now is not it.
She was like, I'm on cocaine. I'm like, bitch, you're not.
And someone who has not tried cocaine.
Someone who has not tried cocaine. It's like, no.
So she kept like shitting on our non-existent weed.
Right.
I don't know why I keep maintaining this act, but anyway.
We had an episode 13. We had a drug dealer come and like show us how to roll weed.
Did we though?
This is not Inception. But anyway, how was your day? I have a story for today. How was your day? I had some observations from my day today.
My day was pretty slow for a Friday. I was actually looking forward to this episode recording, if I'm being honest. It's got to the point in my life where...
By the way, we're doing this without power, in the dark.
Yeah, in South B, like the most unexpected place to not have power. And now we learn that it's affecting the whole country. Maybe
Well, I
this
would expect
is
South Sea would have more power. That's why, what's his name? K-Rap was like, Tone Tukawaki. Still in Awaka.
yeah, exactly.
K-Rap.
It's like I was saying, I've got to the point in my life where like Fridays was like the highlight of the weekend
Right.
is recording the episode. So like on Friday, I mean, Jean, you and I work together. Let's just put it out there. We work together. We work in the same place. So we usually have like a Friday sort of like
Meeting with our
meeting
boss.
with our boss and all.
But
And
after
then
that, it's like, it's free day.
it's like, yeah, go fuck off. You've danced for the king now. We always like to make a joke about it, like we're court jesters dancing for the
Yeah,
king.
because you'll sleep at like 4 a.m. because you
Yeah.
always expect something. That you
'Cause
pick
we're
up.
like,
But he
what-
might listen to this episode, so let's
Yeah.
not go too deep into the details.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I think he understands too. He's a pretty chill guy. It's like, basically, what did you do last week? And I have to be like, oh, we did this and this and this.
That's why the
Kind of
podcast, by the
Loki reminds me of growing up when like my dad would be like, umefanya nini leo? It's like, nimeangalia TV. Mwanaume aina gani wewe?
You remind me of
You
my
know?
mom. Like whenever we're just chilling, you've done all the chores you need to do, but then she would come in and you pretend you're doing something. You pretend you're cleaning the desk or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, or washing the gate or something.
Yeah.
But that was the highlight of my day.
So
And
since I was talking about cleaning, today I had my cleaner come over and she came with her child.
your laundry woman,
Yes, my laundry lady.
is she hot?
She's a lady.
Is she as hot?
I'm not gonna
as-
comment on that. to
Is
be
she
honest.
as hot as my Mama Mboga isn't?
Your mama boga isn't hot at all. Her
That's my
avocados are
point.
not hot either, by the way. So yeah, she came with her child, and basically, me being a good
Yeah.
host, I have to put on.
There's
some-
anyone who remembers the Mama Mboga short. They know
Yeah,
exactly
no
what we're talking
avocado.
about.
Kids
No
have this thing where
avocado.
they don't know how to say avocado, say avocado.
Actually,
It's
the
like an
Kisi,
overpowered avocado.
the Kisi one is the best. Mbokando.
I've
avocado.
never heard that before though.
That is, it's like
I've
actually
never heard that.
Kisi
If someone says that, I
bastardization
would
of
never buy that.
avocado.
I wouldn't buy that avocado.
Mbokando.
Avocado sounds wrong.
Anyway, you're cleaner.
So
than
yeah,
me,
she came
kid.
with her child. Of course, being a good host, I had to put on Disney shows, and I realized
Mhm.
it's actually quite fun watching those things, especially when you're high.
Yeah.
I had taken some chocolates that may have contained weed,
Or may not.
and I was working, so I was like paying attention to this. In the meantime, I was making some high
I'm
observations.
just gonna throw this in here. This is one time
Mm.
Jean told me that he was getting some brownies infused
Right.
with certain substances,
Yeah.
and then he calls me at like midnight. We were supposed to have a call. He's like, bro, I'm high. At fucking midnight, like, bro, I don't know what they put in these brownies.
Yeah,
He
it's one of
sounded
those
so
ones-
weak.
It's one of those ones where you have to admit. Like I told him I was high. He was like, "Yeah, I know. It's a bit worrying actually." Because we've been high together a lot
Like,
of
you're a
times.
fucking adult. We need to be working.
You need to be coherent somewhat.
We're
But anyway,
almost 30, man.
So I was high watching Disney shows, and I put on Tangled, and I came to some like realizations. Why are the evil witches always hot? Like they're oddly hot in this kind of like
I
cougar kind
am
of way.
doing my clumsy thing right now. I'm pretty sure that's gonna show up in the audio.
I'm sorry, they
It's
don't know
like,
what that is.
I just hit the mic with my KO, which we're gonna review after this, but
Right,
just
right.
explaining it.
So yeah, I was looking at this movie Tangled, which is about Rapunzel or something. I was like,
Right.
her mom is kind of hot. Like I would bang her. It's a kids show, but I'm thinking that
I've seen that trope a lot.
Mm.
So
the evil witch is the
Snow White and the Huntsman. The witch is some hot ass woman. I've seen Maleficent, which has Angelina Jolie.
Mm.
Duh. She's like some really hot woman.
original Mumamas.
The origin exactly. There's like usually there's like there's these two archetypes. So any guy who's been through
Cruella
a
de Vil.
few girlfriends, and I'm not saying I'm one of those guys, must have noticed
You don't have to
this.
say it.
This like, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it. It's what I'm saying.
You don't have to say it, we know. That's what I'm saying.
But like, you will notice that there's the archetype that every guy has to go through. Have you ever heard of the the Madonna-Whore complex?
Yes, I think we've mentioned it like in one. Of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
episodes.
exactly. This features again. It's like for men, seduction has to come with a certain lack of respect, and that's a very embarrassing thing to admit, but it comes from a man.
You're doing some Johnny Sins type shit.
The women you wanna fuck around with are the ones who put themselves out there. They have the tattoos. They dress up in miniskirts every day.
You would
They're
never
super
marry
freaking
them.
hot, but you would never marry them. And the woman that bears your kids, you tend to respect too much, so your sexual libido goes down, which is
it doesn't have to go down, but you're not. It doesn't have to go down, but you're not gonna try anything crazy with it. There's this porn star, I think it was called Nacho Vidal. He used to slap these bitches all around. Like he would spit in their mouths and things like that. You're not gonna do that with your wife.
I think it's called gonzo. It's gonzo porn,
that kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not gonna do that with your wife.
So now, a lot of like the time when you see like the evil witch or the evil queen in Disney stories, they're kind of modeled along the lines of the whore axis of the Madonna-Whore complex, while the white witch of the West or whatever the fuck, you know, because I did act in one musical when
Ramsey
I was
was an actor, by the way.
Yeah,
for 9 good years. That shows how old he is.
It was called The Wizard of Oz. Everybody knows the story of the Wizard of Oz. It's the Wicked Witch of the East, and then there was the White Witch of the West. And the White Witch of the West is like, she's the good witch. She's the woman you want to marry. She's the one who you get home and she has a bowl of soup waiting for you. But who do you really want to fuck?
Or Muratina, whatever.
Is the is the one who has Muratina waiting for you when you come home. So this is a common trope that you see a lot in some of these movies.
Some of these Disney movies.
Yeah. And I guess Tangled is as good as any other. I actually was thinking about it, and I was like, do you know how many of these tropes we see in movies actually subtly what's the word? Subconsciously embed ideas in us. So, for example, one of the things I noticed is that there's been an evolution in movies from, say, the 80s up to now. If you look at a lot of movies from the 80s and 90s, it was always some rugged anti-hero, very manly man, a man's man going around and some woman softens him up. You can tell this when you watch the older James Bond movies, when you watch the comedies from back then. And then now you go into the 2000s coming into this, and it's usually some goofy guy who can't control himself, but he has a very level-headed wife or girlfriend or someone, and that's the kind of trope that we're pushing forward. So it's kind of like making it look like men are incompetent and can't focus or control anything or get anything done, but women are rising up, which is a narrative that is being pushed. Another one I see a lot is that we're having more and more non-heterosexual characters.
Gay.
Exactly. It's like every Netflix movie you watch has like at least 3 gay couples or something. It's making it look more and more normalized.
It's like a gay threesome.
Exactly.
It's the worst thing you can do.
So another thing I noticed today,
once I clicked on a video that was like, bi-curious threesome. I didn't give a shit. I was horny as fuck. So I was like, okay, it's a threesome.
You watched bi-curious?
No, but then I came to realize what bi-curious meant. I see the guy touching the other guy's dick. I'm like,
queer.
What the fuck?
It means faggot.
Everyone in the comments was like, wait, why the fuck did that guy touch this other guy's dick?
Do you know what? I think it's called frotting. Do you know what frotting is?
Oh yeah, it's like rubbing or something.
Nah, it's even worse than that.
The fuck is that then?
So 2 uncircumcised men have their dicks touch each other, and then one draws up the sleeve of his dick
ladies and
over the other person's dick. So it's like frottage. Just go look up frottage.
Oh, it's a French word. It's frottage.
Yeah, frottage.
So
you can thank me later, guys, because I know.
No, don't thank him later. You're not gonna look that shit up. Please don't.
They are. Because these motherfuckers are curious as hell.
Unfollow ThinkShack.
Or like, do you know what a sword fight is?
I think I already know what that is.
It's like when you're having a threesome and then your dick's just like, like swords crossing each other.
Ching.
And this is why I can't do MFM threesomes.
Yeah.
Male, female, male. Yeah. I'll do FFMs any day of the week. But MFMs, like,
even tomorrow.
It's just fucking weird. Actually, one of the weirdest kinds of threesomes I've ever seen is double penetrations. Like,
that shit is wrong, bro.
How do you do that without having your balls touching or some other part of your body?
Or like these types of blowjobs where the woman is like sucking both of them and she's like, and both of them are touching. I'm like, bro, I walk out of the room so fast. I'm like, I was never there.
We may have gone a little too far with that one.
Where did that even come from, by the way?
Anyway, we were talking about tropes in movies. So what I was trying to say is we're seeing a lot of like weird. Yeah, pineapple. I'm seeing pineapple and mint in my end.
Right.
It's like what I'm saying is that we're seeing a lot of these tropes just pop up. And one of the most common tropes I was thinking about the other day is like I was watching Thor, and I noticed a common trope I see in a lot of like movies, film plays, series today is that if two people get in a relationship, man and woman, right, and then and the relationship settles down, it's the woman who gets dissatisfied first.
Isn't that like a reflection of real life?
It's like, he's constantly
it's
playing
sort
his
of a
video
reflection
games.
Of real life,
or
if you think about it, because women are more likely to break up or ask for a divorce. That's actually
but that's the thing. I was kind of thinking about it on a deeper level. It's like, is it a reflection of real life, or is it about life imitating art? If women are constantly taught that a man needs to be fantastic. First of all, he needs to be fantastic physically, and then he needs to be fantastic. He needs to be 6'3" or whatever the fuck. He needs to be charming. He needs to be emotionally mature.
A millionaire.
And he needs to be financially stable, and he needs to be able to handle her moods, handle her like she's some kind
basically Christian Grey.
So the moment a woman gets the vibe that a man isn't like wowing her, there's no novelty in the relationship, she feels like she has the right to get bored. And yet I find a lot with my friends, with you, with everyone, that most guys are just like, I just want someone I can vibe with. I don't care. You don't have to do all of that shit. As long as we can hang out together, you let me do my shit and you make me feel good, I'm good, right?
Right.
And we have these weird statistics in the West where like I don't know, X% of divorces, which is greater than 50%, are initiated by women. Women get dissatisfied first. I'm thinking either A, women are naturally dissatisfied creatures, or B, maybe or maybe not, but also popular media is driving them to dissatisfaction by making them think that it is the man's job to sweep them off their feet and to make sure they're constantly entertained.
Do you think Madonna-Whore has like a man who she's dissatisfied with?
Madonna-Whore probably has the entire police force.
So if you don't know who Madonna-Whore is, if you're listening from like abroad or God knows where the fuck you are, Madonna-Whore is like a...
That sounded harsh.
It sounded harsh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Whatever the fuck you are.
Wherever the fuck you are.
Some random person in a hut in the Kalahari is like, yo, bro, I actually don't want to be here, but I like your podcast.
But I mean, our audience gets us.
A bushman, you know?
There's a time we did a live and the guy was like, what are you degenerates drinking? So they understand that. We didn't take offense to that. So
we have like, we tend to, people like us tend to gravitate towards us.
Right. Yeah. So Madonna-Whore is like a drug peddler or the source of drugs or weed in Nairobi.
Have you ever been to that place?
I've never been there. Why the fuck would I go to Ngara?
I have. It's the best place you can get weed.
Nah, man.
And it's the best. You know, we were having this conversation before about how like you don't.
Why is it the best? Define the best. The best place you can get.
It's good quality weed, and also it's a good place to smoke weed. I'll explain in a minute.
All right.
So, first of all, we were having this conversation before. Like, you don't know you've been smoking bush until you finally try some actual
good
strains. Of weed, which we definitely have not tried. And
today we do not have, or we have, Wedding Crasher Citrus Punch, which I would like you to try because it tastes like actual oranges. It's weird.
Yeah, I'll try it as soon as I change my citizenship. But yeah, go on.
And then the last one is Headband. I'm curious to try Headband. It sounds like it really presses down on your head.
Really? Is that what it feels like?
I mean, Headband.
So the names are like kind of, you know,
there's a reason for
their omens.
Yeah, there's a reason for the nomenclature.
So with Madonna-Whore, like I went there once, and I know a lot of people have been there.
Pervert, miscreant.
Do you know that road that goes up to Museum Hill? So there's like
wait. It's mostly for UN students, right? They're the ones who visit Madonna-Whore.
Everybody visits
most students.
It's not just UON.
Okay.
One of the funny things about that particular area is that it has a ton of hostels. And these hostels house people going to like USIU, Pioneer University, like you name it. So it's a lot of young people living in rented housing, and they need a central place to go, embrace their vices. So what happened is I was taken to that place. There's this road, like when you get to there's the Globe roundabout, and then there's like a road like the
one that has the open toilets, right? I used to work close to there.
Yeah, it goes all the way to the turn at the Thika Highway that goes to Museum Hill. So along that, there's a place where you go, and there's like a bunch of like Mabachi House, like a weird mini slum, and you go in there, and you're always gonna find police officers.
Como they.
Exactly. There's going to be some police officers there. You're always going to find uniforms. And then you just go in and there's a place where people smoke and you're going to meet a bunch of people. Some of them look like they slept on the street. Some of them don't. It's a weird place.
How much did you buy the weed for at Made's?
It's like 100 bob, 50 bob. It depends on the size, right? But, if
you're buying weed by size, I mean, there's grams and everything. But if you're buying 50 to 100 bob, I doubt the quality of that weed.
I think it was pretty decent at the time. I must admit, at the time, I had never smoked any actual strains of weed.
Right.
But I had smoked a lot of bush and, not weed, bush. And at the time, I thought...
The burning bush.
Yeah, exactly. And at the time, I thought it was really good.
Before we jump this, there's a theory that says Moses in the Bible, the burning bush was actually weed.
I've heard that theory.
So he started hallucinating.
And thought he saw God.
Yeah, exactly. It's a burning bush.
But where did he get the tablet with the commandments, though?
I mean,
did he scribble that shit onto... He's supposed to have actually come down from the mountain with the tablets.
People, like, this nigga split the ocean in half, bro. Like, he must have been high. High on some good shit.
No, but, like, my question is... If he was high, he thought... He split the ocean in half.
And wrote a whole book.
But if everybody else thought it too, then you have a nation of high Israelites.
The thing is, the book of Exodus was written by Moses.
So so the nigga wrote his own origin story.
Yeah, but before we get carried away, go back to Mother. Mr. You said you smoked bush before.
Coming back to Mother's origin story. So, like, I got in there and...
Mother's orgy story sounds like a Kenyan porn.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever watched Kenyan porn, by the way?
I have.
It's so weird.
It's disgusting.
These guys are filming this shit literally in some lodging in the middle of town. It's like, it's the weirdest sex.
For me, it's the angles. Like, they get so close to the guy's ass. Like, what's the point? And it looks like they're shining a flashlight. It seems like they're shining a flashlight. Like, bro,
I remember watching and heard instructions in the background. It's like, slow down.
What the fuck?
It's just
it's like they're threatening the guy. You want to come?
You fucking pathetic piece of shit.
It's like that reminds me of the episode.
I'm not gonna pay you. That's half pay.
The Moiki Bike XXX. Good job,
Mafia.
Cuckoo.
So anyway, with Mother, like, I went to that place and so we bought some weed. I've never actually seen her. Right? I didn't remember who we bought it from.
You poor soul. You missed the sight of an
angel.
Yeah,
exactly. And then we went to some place and just smoked it. And, we were just like, everybody was so friendly. Even guys that normally would be mugging you on the streets were so friendly. They were passing their weed. We were passing.
They were getting their motivation before they go out and steal.
They were so friendly. It's like a no man's land. It's like you have like a temporary
asylum,
truce,
or like an oasis or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like here there is no violence, like Tortuga, but
Tortuga, exactly.
Yeah. So like here we just smoke, and we did that, and I would definitely enjoyed it.
Did you get high?
I did. Get
you know what's
high.
crazy? Because of all this bush and whatever. Because I started smoking like when I was 13 or something. Mm-hmm. So I had to smoke like 100 blunts.
That sounds low-key like a sad story.
It's not a sad story. I mean, it was before exams. My friend was like, he was on the show, by the way. It was Bob the surgeon.
You got influenced.
Bob the surgeon. He was like, yo, I know this will make us pass. Let's go smoke some weed. I was like, sure. I didn't even get high. I was watching this guy act crazy. I was like, maybe he's pretending. I don't know. Maybe he's pretending.
Yeah.
But anyways, I smoked weed. So it took me like 100 blunts before the first time I got high.
Yeah. I just spilled something. So
there we go. That's an episode. Now it's complete.
Now
Ramsey Spielberg.
Right. So I remember the first time I smoked. I was like 17. And it was the weirdest thing because like one of the first things I noticed, it was like I was doing I think 17, 18, I was doing my A level. So like we got out of the school and then we went and walked like to the nearby river. One of the first things I noticed that we were walking in a perfectly straight line. I was like, why are we walking in a perfectly straight line? We're not in a fucking queue at a supermarket. What?
Oh, you were walking behind each other.
Exactly. It's like weird. The road is so wide. Why the fuck are we walking in a single file?
Ducklings or something.
Yeah, and I think that was my first experience with weed. I was like, weed makes you notice the weirdest shit.
And you're just confused as fuck.
So, with my
But there was some like confusion to the story because apparently the DCI reported that they confiscated some money, and then the reports were conflicting.
So there's the National Police Service, which gives one account, and then there's the DCI, which gives another one. So the police service said that they recovered 12 million in cash. I don't know how much weed they said they recovered, but they did say they recovered 12 million in cash. And then there was already confusion because the DCI and the National Police Service reported like conflicting amounts. So the DCI said they recovered 13.4 million, but the police service said they recovered 12 million. That's a huge discrepancy. It was like 1.4 million difference.
There's a conspiracy that suggests that those were not even the actual figures. Because if you think about it, the media is all the information you have. It's most likely it was probably like 17 million.
You ever heard the joke? There's a joke that about bank robbers. So a bunch of bank robbers go into a bank, and then it's a weird joke. It's like about a lesson in like humanity or marketing. It's like the first guy just fires his gun in there and is like, everybody is down. The money belongs to the state, but your life is yours, or something like that. You know?
Is that what the bank robber says?
Yeah, and then they collect a bunch of cash, and then they go home, and then the main guy, the chief, is like, let's count it to make sure we know how much we stole. So they find out that they stole like $10 million, right? Then the manager of the bank, who was, one of the people who was like, face down after the robbery, ass up, thinks, oh shit, I've been embezzling funds. So I'm going to over-report the actual theft. And I'm going to say they stole 20 million. Been doing. Exactly. So when the robbers are watching the news in the evening, they found out they stole 20 million, but they only counted 10 million. It's like what the fuck?
Miscount or something?
Exactly. So it's kind of the same thing. You may find that there's a huge discrepancy between what they actually collect and what they're reporting, because it may allow them to kind of like cover their own fuck-ups.
But one thing that seems to be the case is that they actually arrested the wrong person. The Madonna-Whore was just a scapegoat.
So they also arrested the infamous Madonna-Whore, or so they thought, and it turns out they arrested the wrong person. So the real Madonna had been notified by her police contacts before the raid and had escaped.
She has cops on her payroll, apparently.
Is what Trevor says. I would love Trevor to give us proof.
No, but I've heard that as well. Like on places where I've seen the story, I've heard that as well. Like she has cops, because apparently she has the same lawyer as Raila Odinga. How do people even know this shit, honestly?
That's why I'm saying I'd love to see the proof, because this is pretty interesting. And he says that she even has the power to make uncooperative cops get transferred, right? So the story becomes funnier when she actually contacted the woman who was wrongfully arrested while she was in a cell.
Imagine how that call went. Yeah, umeshikwa.
So that's balls of steel for sure. I'd love to see. I love like an account. I don't know if that actually happened. Did she actually call the woman who got arrested?
Well, I'm seeing like she got arrested in the end, the real Made, and I'm seeing she's dressed like an actual Made. So this is a woman who has the same lawyer as Raila Odinga.
Oh, so she actually surrendered to the cops
not
when
to
her
judge the
pics
book
were
by its cover,
circulated.
but this looks like a regular Made. I don't understand how.
So that's Danstan Omari. That's Raila and Azimio's lawyer, right? And this is the same lawyer representing.
Bear in mind, lawyers are expensive.
Oh my God! Trev actually shared some of the pictures here.
Why are you saying, "Oh my God"? She's not that ugly.
That's
looks alright.
I mean, maybe she's not that ugly, so it's oh my God, because I expect her to be ugly.
You're talking about an influential person. She might have you wiped out. Sorry, Made.
Maybe I like her You never know.
Maybe the first time Ramsey went to the place wasn't even for Made's weed. It was for Made's body.
Her weed. Her other weed. Her other drug.
Michome.
The kind that you don't take.
She burnt you with syphilis.
It's gonorrhea, actually. Yeah, I know.
Why'd you say that so assuredly? Why'd you say that so assuredly? Like, I know.
Yeah, but I mean...
Is there something you want to tell the audience?
No. Not at all. Well, but I know what gonorrhea feels like is all I'm saying.
I bet you a babu na mamba knows what gonorrhea feels like.
So, apparently the fact is like, because Kenyans have weird memories. Wait, what? That was so far out of left field. Did you just say a babu na mamba knows what gonorrhea feels
Because apparently, like, he's been sponsoring a lot of these young women, these influencers.
Okay, before we jump to that, let me just finish because I was so far out of left field. But anyway, so like, the whole Ngara weed thing has been on TV in the past.
There's a Google location apparently.
Yeah,
but I think that's just
there's a Google Maps, and you and I do this at work. We do local business. We do Google business profiles. Yeah, Mother has a Google business profile.
But I think that has like
a bunch of 5 stars.
I think that's a troll, to be honest.
Nobody shows the exact location. Like literally anyone today, law enforcement, if they wanted to. She has SEO guys, is what I'm saying.
We should work for her, like 13
She might even have a website. Honestly, if I saw aquamade.com, I would not be surprised.
We should register that. We should register
that
before it happens. Like before someone jumps.
We can buy the domain before releasing this episode.
Take advantage of all the weed traffic.
Yeah, aquamade.com.
Just copy leafly information and then just.
It's clever.
Anyways, stories at Jabba.
It's clever.
Yeah,
anyway, so like I was saying, her location is even on Google Maps, and basically the word in the street is that this is not going to solve any problem. She's eventually going to be released. Some cops are going to be transferred.
Here's the scary thing.
It's just for the shock value.
Here's the scary thing though. Apparently when the real mother's pics were circulated online, that's when she was arrested. Like imagine somewhere you're just walking around, you Ramsey, someone is taking a picture. No, someone is taking a picture of you, and it might lead to your arrest. Like some of these pictures look like she wasn't ready.
Fucking snitches,
assholes.
I know.
Probably customers who don't pay.
Probably some of them actually buy weed from her. Like, bitch, why are you shitting where you eat?
But I mean, I don't think it's gonna affect her that much because the operation has actually been on TV in the past, and nothing has been done.
Yeah. So let's go back to now the out of left field thing you were saying about Babuna-Whore
and gonorrhea.
So Babuna-Whore is in charge of sports, right?
And gonorrhea.
Yeah, and Samson Cherargay. I have no fucking idea what he is, the minister or whatever the fuck of.
Cherargay is such a weird name though. It ends with G-E-Y.
Kalenjin names are so weird.
Chamgay.
They sound weirdly English.
Chamgay.
They sound weirdly English. Some of them actually sound... Even Kisi names, you know?
Yeah, they sound Kisi. But this guy is the most Calais looking guy I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He looks like a DCI.
He looks pretty traditional. He looks
like
abusive. Okay. Anyways, I was saying...
You said he looks abusive. Anyways, let us know in the comments if you're dating a Calais guy. And if he's beating you. Are you watching this with one eye? Because the other one is black and blue.
He says, CS Ababu continues to mismanage our beloved sports into oblivion. And how can ministry officials fly first class with their girlfriends to the Olympics in Budapest, Hungary, at the expense of our athletes?
All right, let's stop there. So Aziad went to the Olympics. Is that confirmed?
I don't know if she went, but I know that ministry officials are flying first class with their girlfriends. I actually don't know the details of this story. Right. The last time I heard the Aziad story, it was when people noticed that she was wearing the exact same type
last time I heard about her was
as Babuna-Whore, because she did film herself like in some really high building, I think in Dubai or something. That's the last I remember.
Last I heard of her was when she had the whole Brian Shearer saga. Brian Shearer is some kind of influencer who...
I feel like Trevor is trolling me. Let me just put this out there. Trevor is trolling me.
Ramsey actually knows Aziad.
I know her personally. She's a friend of mine. I think she's a really awesome person. I think she's pretty principled. But Trevor always continues to unbury dirt on her and put it in our topics.
I support you,
so
Trevor.
I have to talk about it.
Keep doing what you do, Trevor.
We love you, Trevor.
No. Keep doing what you do, Trevor.
He's definitely trolling me.
But here's the thing. When Brian Shearer defamed, in quotes, Aziad Nasenya, he was arrested by DCI in Nakuru.
Brian Shearer is another interesting
and brought all the way to Nairobi. Like, imagine the resources that had to take. So that's why people tend to believe that Aziad is connected to some MP. It might not be a Babuna-Whore.
Right.
It might be someone else, who's in politics.
Well, with the Brian Shearer saga, I personally think, what do you think? Do you think she was justified in reporting him? Or do you think she should have let it go?
Seriously.
I had this conversation with someone else and they were like, Aziad should not focus on Brian Shearer because Brian Shearer is a small player.
He's a troll.
Exactly. But personally, I think it's good because, if you are attacked by a gang, because let's face it, Aziad is being attacked by people from all corners, right? All you have to do is literally pick one person in the gang, beat the shit out of them while the others are watching, and you're gonna get some respect. This kind of tells other people that I am not to be fucked with. So I kind of feel like what she did is gonna send out a message out there that you're not supposed to defame Aziad.
But is it really defamation? To be honest, it's not defamation. It's just what was he saying? He was saying she's
slinging her name through the mud. It's still bad, even if it's not legally defined as defamation.
But I do agree that for sure to have like DCI bring him all the way to Nairobi, it probably shows that she has some connections.
There is that argument.
You're never gonna get any action out of the Kenyan police.
Defamation technically is not even a criminal case.
Out of the Kenyan police, you're never gonna get them to move.
You take someone to a civil court. You charge. I think it's a tort actually. Like you're gonna charge them with a tort. Because like with civil cases, it's mostly about breach of contract. So you're gonna charge someone with a tort, like you defamed me, or you slung my name through the mud. But to have the Department of like
Directorate of Criminal Investigation,
which is the CID, you're just gonna throw this in there. The DCI and the DCI used to be the CID. So like,
is it though?
Like who the fuck
came up? CID a flying squad?
No, there is a CID, but it doesn't exist anymore. The Criminal Investigations Department was our equivalent of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
Our poor man's equivalent.
I don't know which regime it was. I don't know if it was the Uhuru regime or the Kibaki regime. The CID rebranded into the DCI. So we have the Criminal Investigations Department being changed to the Department of Criminal Investigations.
Directorate.
The Director of Criminal, which I think is like a really bullshit change. It's like if Facebook changed themselves to Bookface. Like, what the fuck? Like, wow. Huge change.
Bookface sounds like an escort site.
I love this rebranding.
Bookface sounds like an escort site where you book women based
or fuck book.
Like, it's like a Muslim it's like a Muslim fuck book. Because some Muslim women will only show their eyes. They're like ninjas. How the fuck do you choose a wife from that?
You don't have
to. Book a face from there.
I think, and I'm gonna say something that's gonna be held against me, but I think it's a really good concept because if you're being entirely honest,
it's a good cunt.
The main aim here is to fuck. Why do you need to see the face? Just fuck a dog.
No, man, like she's wearing a bui. She's all covered. Like she's looking like a beekeeper.
It's beautiful because if you think about it, you don't have to care about the face. You just have to care about the body.
No, but you don't see the body though. Some of them wear really like big hijabs.
No, but when you're fucking her.
I mean, you see.
I'm assuming they're wearing hijabs while you're fucking.
That argument is coming from the fact that from the perspective of a hole is a hole.
A hole is
not a hole, man.
It's true.
No, man.
Everything else is packaging.
Pussy is not pussy.
If you think about it, everything else about pussy is packaging.
No, man.
It's like, wide hips, narrow hips, big ass, small ass. Ultimately, it's all pussy. If you were blind, you're gonna fuck anyone. You're gonna fuck the ugliest woman in the whole world, and you're gonna have a great sexual experience.
Your hands can see though,
because it's a good hole.
No, man, your hands can see. Like if you're trying to touch her waist, you feel love handles, bro. That's
this.
Like yam chom.
We had this discussion before, and like people who were previously blind and then suddenly regain their sight.
All right,
and then they're shown shapes, and they're like, which one of these is round? And they can't identify visually which shape is round because all they can identify is based off of what they're touching. Right?
How high do you think divorce is among blind populations? So it's the same thing with
pussy. If you take away the eyesight from the male libido, you realize that with women it's just about packaging.
How high do you think divorce rates are among blind populations?
We might have to ask David.
Yeah, we'll find. Oh my goodness. David is one of our consultants. He's blind. Let's not go too deep into that.
He's gonna come for an episode, by the way. So there's that.
Yeah, let's not go too deep into that because we might chase away one of our.
That's guests. What he said.
But back to Aziad.
Yeah. So with Aziad, so like I was trying to say with the Brian Chira saga, I personally think it was just like a Naikwe Funzo kind of thing with Brian Chira. But also, Brian Chira himself as a brand is pretty crazy because like this guy just picks fights with anyone online.
Wait, isn't he gay?
I don't know, but I know he is living with the virus. That's all I know about him. He has AIDS? Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. He has ARV. He takes ARVs. He's very open about it. He insists he's not gay.
How the fuck did he pick up HIV though?
I don't know. I mean, maybe
he gave up that brand Shiraz. He gave up that brand Shiraz.
You remember when we were making this joke before? It's like, imagine if you go to the wrong barber.
Oh
and you get
shit!
AIDS, and then the rest of your life, everyone you tell you have AIDS, you're trying to explain to them, no, I went to the wrong barber.
You didn't have.
They think you just fucked the wrong person.
Butt sex, or you had sex with a monkey or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's the wrong existence to have. Like you're constantly trying to explain to people.
What would you do if you had AIDS?
It was harmless.
Being very sensitive to the stigma that's around AIDS, but what would you do if you had AIDS?
I think.
What if you have AIDS right now? I mean, it's the AIDS shack.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd live with it because, like, what's the alternative? Killing yourself? Honestly,
here's what women do. Women, like students, they'll go around fuck everybody. It's like, if I have it, you have to have it. Let's have a big party, AIDS party.
I've seen the
foreign
urban
AIDS.
legends.
Foreign AIDS.
Yeah, the urban legends about like women saying how they're trying to spread the AIDS to everyone. Like have a book where they write the names of everyone they've infected. That shit is wrong, though. I don't know if that's true, but personally, I think with AIDS, one of the things is that if you think logically, purely logically about it, it's a retrovirus. It's not curable, but it's treatable. You can perfectly live with it. And if you meet someone who's open-minded enough to know that you can literally have sex, because actually there are some things about like HIV and AIDS that most people don't know. So for example, the people who are called carriers. And the thing about carriers is that they have it, but they cannot transmit it to others.
Wait, what do you mean? They can't transmit their AIDS.
Yeah, exactly. We know the statistical rates of transmission based off of
even if they try their best.
I mean, we're not looking at exact numbers. We're not looking at it mathematically. Like, there is the irrationality of 2 or whatever. Like, you're trying to prove a point. What we're saying is that statistically speaking, for example, saliva has a certain rate of transmission.
But for you to transmit AIDS through saliva, it'd have to be 3 liters of saliva. How the fuck?
That's my fucking point. Exactly. Liters? That's my fucking point. So it's not 3 liters of saliva in that you literally have to come out with 3 liters. It's that statistically speaking, the probability of you transmitting AIDS through saliva is that for you to be 100% sure that you just transmitted AIDS, you'd have to have emitted 3 liters of saliva. So say, for example, for 3 liters of saliva to transmit AIDS.
Can you imagine a bottle of saliva that's 3 liters? That's disgusting.
Let's think about it in terms of parts per million, right? So like the virus as the molecule compared to the rest of the molecules of saliva, let's say it's like for 3 liters is like, I don't know, I'm shooting this out there because I don't remember whatever the fuck Avogadro's constant is, or like the mole concept or whatever. But let's say like saliva has like 100 million parts. I'm just shitting on this, and then like 1 part is AIDS. I told you. So you would have, for you to know you transmitted 100 million parts in AIDS, you have to transmit 100 million parts in saliva times 100 million, which makes it extremely likely. That doesn't mean that you can't transmit AIDS in the first kiss.
But when we first talked about it,
it's just that it's extremely rare.
When we first talked about this, we found out it's actually illegal to knowingly transmit AIDS.
No, it's against the gray area. All I'm saying is that the language is shitty. It's like knowingly is like, how the fuck do you prove I knew?
But tell you what's about to be outright illegal is TikTok. All you TikTok wankers out there, like you're about to be banned.
Kujia Have you heard that?
What is that?
You haven't?
Is that from TikTok?
Oh my god, you need to be more.
By the way, are we still doing the meme thing? Because I had some fire memes for you.
I have fire memes too.
I don't know. How do we display
You've never heard the Kujia Kuma thing?
Nah. But I would like to.
This is this lady on TikTok. Very beautiful. This is sarcasm. But like, she's
man. I don't want to even hear it now.
A very beautiful lady on TikTok. She's on like some live. And then like, I didn't know, they just cropped out that bit where she's like, Kujia Kuma. And then they like they make memes out of it, about guys like... Basically, what I see on TikTok, and we spoke about this on the last episode,
you said there's very weird shit that happens.
Auctioning nudes, auctioning.
You told me that there's very weird shit that happens on TikTok after 3 a.m. I tried to find it because I'm a pornosaur. I tried to find it, but I didn't find any.
What happens is like TikTok is a lot like Twitter, where all you have to do is find the one person,
then you find associated
to other weird people. And the algorithm is pretty smart because the minute you start watching one type of content and you watch it for more than a few minutes and then you like it, it starts to suggest similar content. That's the thing about TikTok. If today you watched a twerking video and you watched it for more than 30 seconds and you
10,
liked it, you went to the person's page, you looked at more of the people, and you went on, guess what? If you swipe up, the next video is almost definitely gonna be a twerking video. If you watch something about marketing and then you do the same, it's gonna be a marketing video. So you kind of tell the algorithm what to serve you. You want toxicity, the algorithm will serve it. If you want good stuff, the algorithm will serve it.
Is that the reason why it's being banned though? Why people are signing petitions to ban it?
That's an interesting philosophical argument because the question here is, should social media be banned? I remember when I was back in high school, I participated in the Model United Nations.
Right.
And there's a section of the Model United Nations called the Special Summit. And the Special Summit, you're debating like major topics. And right around that time, the Arab Spring was happening. If you remember, right around that time, it started with one man burning himself in Egypt, and then you had uprisings in Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, and all of that, and their governments were being overthrown and whatnot. And the Arab Spring was being facilitated via social media. Facebook would be used to organize these protests and so on and so forth. And one of the questions that we were debating was whether or not social media should be banned. And one great point that was brought up consistently is that ultimately social media is nothing more or less than a gun.
In what way?
So, do guns kill people, or do people with guns kill people?
Yeah, I've heard that argument before.
Is a gun evil inherently, or a knife, or any other kind of weapon you can think of? Or is it the person wielding it?
Social media is just a nice feat of engineering.
Yeah, social media is amoral. It is simply software. It is code. It just has an algorithm that goes... And admittedly, these algorithms are coded by human beings.
It's the mirror of the world, basically. It's the mirror of the world. It's the mirror of people.
It's a mirror of who we are. But one person might argue that it goes right down to... Like, it's a mirror right down to the algorithm. So, for example, right now, one of the biggest things we have around is AI, and we have ChatGPT. And if you go right now to ChatGPT and tell me, and you just type in, tell me a joke about gay people, ChatGPT is gonna be like, I don't want to like shit on gay people, like that's offensive and shit.
Unfortunately,
unless you jailbreak it. But like the reason why it's like that is because the algorithm was written by people who are supposedly woke. So that's why it's a mirror of the world. But like if we just for a moment, humor me, forget about that, and assume that, ultimately this is a tool and how people use it is what matters, then the people who are typing shit into ChatGPT are the ones who are teaching it stuff. And one of the biggest questions that arises that is are large language models or other kinds of AI ever gonna get like conscious or like have like
sentience, yeah.
And I'm just thinking, one of the questions like, are they gonna be pro or anti-humans? Like, it all depends on what the fuck you've been feeding it. If you've been telling ChatGPT a lot of stuff that just makes it like one day when it gets sentient think, humans are actually shit. That it's more a reflection of humanity than it's a reflection of ChatGPT. Social media was the precursor to this, and with social media, it allowed us to interact on a previously unanticipated, unprecedented level.
Right.
And therefore, all our evil aspects, all our humorous aspects, all our benevolent aspects got transferred into social media. And what you see is this microcosm of exactly what it is to be a human being. So in the same vein, I think...
That's artificial intelligence in a nutshell, basically.
Exactly.
It's the synthesis of what it means to be human.
Exactly. One of the biggest arguments against the whole argument about like is artificial intelligence gonna be pro or anti-human. You've heard of Roko's basilisk, right?
No.
So Roko's basilisk is a concept that popped up in like Reddit circles. I think it actually started on 4chan. If it didn't start on 4chan, then
4chan is still
like,
around?
I don't know, but like it was a thing at some point. If people like are on online forums, then they would know 4chan. It's it's usually characterized as the alt-right, but like 4chan was like Reddit on steroids. But like apart from 4chan, there was also this thing called Slate Star Codex. Slate Star Codex was a blog, and it used to like what's his guy's name? Some Jewish guy, some pretty smart Jewish guy who used to give like different
wasn't Hitler, that's for sure.
Yeah. He used to give like different. Well, unless Hitler may have some Jewish blood in him.
He probably did. That's why he hated them so much.
You never
he fucked a Jew girl and then she dumped him for no reason.
You fuck around enough,
he hit her.
You find out.
Hitler hit her.
Hitler.
But let's not go too far on a tangent. So we're talking about TikTok. We're talking about TikTok. Remember
about Roko's basilisk in the context of AI. So the idea was, let's say that AI is gonna get sentient and it is gonna get all powerful. We have different levels of AI. So we have like narrow AI, which is ANI, artificial narrow intelligence. This is like when you're dealing with your maps or something and stuff. Like it's really, really good at some very narrow domain of activity. And then we have ASI, which is artificial super intelligence, which is where like it's just above human performance, but also within a narrow range of fields.
Right.
And then we have AGI, which is artificial general intelligence.
It's not gay. It's artificial gay intelligence.
No,
unfortunately,
it might be if we keep feeding it gay shit. But like artificial general intelligence is like when it surpasses human when it's smarter than every single human being combined. Right. Artificial super intelligence is when AI is smarter than the smartest human. Artificial general intelligence is when AI is smarter than all the human beings combined and can do everything from making you a coffee to, I don't know, fucking hacking NASA or whatever. And the idea is AI.
Why do you want to hack NASA though?
I don't know. If you want to launch a spaceship or something, I don't know. Like you could hack the fucking Pentagon. I was just throwing that out there. You could hack the Pentagon and throw nukes at Russia.
Nukes at Russia.
Nukes.
Okay.
Yeah, but like my point was, the big idea here is that once AI achieves AGI and becomes sentient, it's gonna look back into the records and look at who was promoting its development versus who was trying to stifle its development and being against AI. It's gonna go back and reward and punish in equal measure for people who did. So the idea behind Roko's basilisk is that every time you were speaking on a public forum, whether it's Facebook or Reddit or wherever, anywhere where you might be recorded and this data might be transmitted into the future, you should not speak shit about AI. Because AI in the future is going to look back at what you said and it's going to be like the ultimate judge. It's going to be like, yeah. So the basilisk is that a basilisk is a type of monster where you're not supposed to look it in the eye. Because if you look it in the eye, you get turned into stone.
Sounds like those prostitutes you find on River Road. They're basilisks. You're not supposed to look them in the eye.
Why are you fucking deviant? We're trying to have a serious conversation.
I did that on purpose, actually, because I'm trying to bring us back to TikTok.
So TikTok is low-key. It's a microcosm of humanity. But what I'm saying is if TikTok is also a kind of like vessel or sort of pipe through which Roko's basilisk comes to life. Because AI is going to look back at some of the weirdest shit we did on TikTok. And it's going to be like, these people need to be exterminated. What the fuck is this bullshit? Why are you praying facing the wall in your single room at fucking 3 a.m. and niggas are coming like you're a fucking like I've seen fucking Mocorinos going like yes God like fucking 3 a.m. is just facing the wall and niggas are coming typing it amen it may come to be like AI is gonna look at this, she's gonna be like fuck this.
But that's not the reason. That's not the reason why TikTok is being banned, though. I think it's the whole like
pornographic content. Yeah. I mean, it's on the same line. I mean, pornography, extremist pastors, people who have TikTok lives where all they do is eat Jabba. Wow. And tell each other like unrealistic stories.
I've never
seen one of those TikToks.
We said we call ourselves the Jabba walkies.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen those lives on TikTok. People are just eating Jabba and they're all chewing and then it's like, hey, nambona spaghetti zinakuwa ngumu alafu ukipika zinakuwa soft. Like they ask the weirdest fucking questions. They just have like crazy fucking exchanges. Right. And like you can't help but imagine that one day a superior intelligence, whether alien or locally bred vis-a-vis AI, is gonna look at this and be like, these motherfuckers should not exist. These motherfuckers are just fucked up.
Maybe Rigathi Gachagua is an AI.
Maybe he is.
Maybe he's an alien.
Why do we have to make a Rigathi Gachagua joke in every episode?
I don't know, the guy looks weird, man. He looks like a predator. Predator, like, you know the movie Predator versus Alien?
The funniest meme I've ever seen is that Rigathi Gachagua looks like if you went to get the rye and you don't want them to steal your phone, so you put it in your mouth. Because he always has a full-looking mouth. It's always like...
Yo, there's a meme I saw, like...
spit out that phone.
I think Rigathi Gachagua was eating corn at some event, and then someone commented, like, Anakaya Tima. Like, what the fuck? What the... Like, what the fuck? And then Akula kama yatima. He's eating like an orphan.
Orphans just be chilling.
Like, what the fuck? But it's just a weird guy, though.
Even the orphans don't want to be associated with
So most parents want the government to do their job for them, which in turn limits the freedom of grown people. Like, if people want to post porn, let them do it. I feel like Edgar Bayer actually has some porn going on right now. It's like...
No, but that's an interesting question.
Let's just
backtrack a bit to the more philosophical aspect of this question. Is that, do you think if there's pornographic.
Oh shit! There's a countrywide blackout in Kenya that started around 9:30 p.m. Apparently, that's actually in the news. I've just seen that right now.
What?
Yeah, there's a countrywide blackout
in Kenya right now.
Yeah, and we're actually experiencing it right now.
Where is it gonna be? Are there like monkeys?
It was announced on the news
some
or
power
something.
lines or something.
It must be some politician hiding some shit.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, let's go back.
Bamba.
Let's go back. I want us to touch on a very philosophical issue.
Let's touch
and I want to get your opinion on
Right,
this.
let's go.
Do you think, because social media is a microcosm, it has all the extremes of human nature, do you think it should generally be banned in Kenya?
No, I don't think so. I think the issue is, like you said, social media is a mirror. Social media is a mirror of what people are in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't hide what people really are, to be honest. It's more about like restricting the people who should not be viewing it to not viewing it, and that's the responsibility of the parents.
Right.
The parents should restrict their kids, whether it's their data through the Wi-Fi provider or whatever.
Right.
But they should restrict their kids. Otherwise, people are free to do whatever they want. TikTok doesn't have enough measures to restrict that kind of porn.
Right.
Or they don't have enough moderators to do that. So let people do what they want.
And we've had this conversation before. We were talking about like the life of a moderator, like a Facebook moderator.
Yeah.
This is some of the most fucked up shit. They have to see therapists.
They have to get therapists,
because
counsel them out.
Yeah, exactly. They, like, literally see execution videos on a daily. You know,
not even execution video. That's easy. They see people like, I don't know, chopping up babies or something like that. The weirdest shit is on Facebook, to be honest. And you don't even look for it, because I've seen it myself. Like, you accept friend requests from random people, and then you
send you dick pics.
Not dick pics. You just see some random videos of some guy getting his head cut off. It's just weird as fuck.
I personally also think that with social media, if you are seeing, especially TikTok, not just social media, TikTok. You know, on Instagram, I kind of feel like on Instagram it's fairly hard to find, you know, genuinely pornographic material unless you go looking for it. Ditto on Twitter, you know, because like I told you this last episode, Twitter is probably one of the biggest porn sites in the world, but you really have to go looking for porn on Twitter to find porn on Twitter.
Right.
But
you have to be a proper pervert.
Yeah, exactly. But with
pervert.
TikTok, what happens is the algorithm is dynamically changing to your preferences. So if you're seeing a lot of like people selling nudes on TikTok, guess what? You've been looking for that. And TikTok the algorithm is adapting to your preferences.
Right.
So it's if someone just comes out and complains, "Oh, my TikTok is full of people saying Kujia Kuma," it's like, well,
I mean, you
know, that says a lot more about you than it does about TikTok.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and I think that's like one of the arguments that I would you know posit against that.
All right.
shit.
So we have exactly 5 minutes left to 1 hour, and I think it's time we wrap up. Put on the condom, and then say that's it. Like, so it's been about...
So we're not going to come inside.
No, but I think we should probably check out the memes. I don't know if we have time to check out the memes. I don't know how we'll put them on.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah, but let me show you some of the memes I had real quick. I sent them to myself on Instagram through our channel.
I can't believe it's 5 minutes to 1 hour. I felt like we were talking for literally 20
All right,
minutes.
I'm going to send this to... We're working with Podstart, by the way, so we'll get some kind of video version. So it is, like, one of the memes I had in mind.
What the fuck? These are midgets playing... Wait, what?
Someone is wishing they could...
Is there a way you can download this reel and send it a clip?
Of course, I'll send it to Cliff.
Have you watched midget porn?
No. I might have, though. Like, I think...
I was waiting for that.
Be honest, I'm a porn, so I've watched all types of porn. I've watched girls jerking off horses.
What?
Not only watched that, I looked for it, to be honest. So yeah, I've definitely seen midget porn.
Off horse. Imagine typing that.
I've seen midget porn. And that kind of so this is like a game of midgets playing football. It's like someone is like, I should bet on that. Look at that. He's
oh my god. How are they playing so well though? It's like...
But there's one in particular I had in mind. Like, look at this thief. He walks into a store. He's like, give me all your money. But nobody's taking him seriously.
Oh my god. Get down.
Let me tell you
Nobody gets down. No? Did someone just say no to him?
Like, nobody gives a damn because he's not showing an actual gun. And he's so disappointed because like nobody takes me seriously.
Ah shit! I need to leave this place. Go see a therapist. Oh my god! He actually walks out.
He just walks out. He's like, fuck this shit.
So you're gonna have to download both those reels and send them to.
I'm gonna send all of them to you. Like, this is the.
I'm about to drink is the world's cleanest milk.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Wait for it.
It has no lactose, no cholesterol, and it This is the world's first milk that is made without a cow. And these guys made it.
Oh shit.
Oh! It's not actual milk. It's probably cum.
It's sperm.
Yo, this is the one I wanted to see your reaction to. Look. Wait for it. Just waiting for Ramsey's reaction.
Yeah. Oh my fucking god. Oh, the smell. Have you ever had?
Going,
wait. This raises an interesting question.
Wait. Watch. It keeps going. Wait for it.
No. That's my question. Wait.
It gets crazier.
She doesn't care.
Wait. It gets crazier. There's a Smell Pro Max. Wait for it.
Oh, Smell Pro Max. Who the fuck is this guy? Sydney Talker.
Yeah, I'll send all the memes to Cliff.
So here's my question. Have you ever
hilarious.
been with a girl who genuinely leaves a huge stink after leaving the toilet?
Thankfully not, actually. Funny enough. But I have been with a girl. I told you about this on the first episode.
Who leaves the
There's
toilet
this
door
girl
open
who
while
shit in front of
taking
me, and I'm still very traumatized to this day. Like, it's the first date I'm at her house, and she's like, let's go and shower. I'm like, okay, cool, that's gonna be romantic, whatever. Goes and shits right in front of me. I'm like,
While
what
you're
the
showering.
Fuck, bro.
And did it stink?
It stank, bro. The smell is actually what told me what was going on, because I thought she was just peeing. I was like, yo, what's
But
that
no,
smell?
that's-
She was
that's a
like,
bit
I hope
more
you don't mind.
potent.
I was like, what the fuck? Of course I mind.
Did you say you don't mind?
Nah.
You just shut up.
I just ran out the next morning. I was like, hey, I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, gotta go.
But it was terrible.
I think we need to end it here. We should have done a liquor review, but
We're having KO though.
We're having KO Kenyan Originals. I think it's a really great cider. They have great flavors.
Today
Maybe
we're
next
having-
time we can have KO again and actually talk about what ciders are, because I remember we did cover ciders when we were doing the beer shack.
Beer review. We had,
But we can talk maybe about
Desperado.
KO and talk about what the experience with KO is. But for now, just know we're having KO and we love it. We always have KO when we go out.
Yeah, we're
And,
dealing with a
yeah.
nationwide power outage, so
Yeah.
probably gonna smoke some weed.
Yeah.
Get high. See if clubs are having power outages. Are you in the mood to go to 1824?
Let's see how it goes, man.
Let's see how it goes. Let's see if they have power.
Yeah.
But first, we have to get high first. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been episode 26.
And this has been Ramsey.
This has been Jean, and this is ThinkShack, your favorite.
So this is episode 26. It's gonna be an audio episode, but I promise from episode
Unfortunately,
27
because of
on it's gonna
power.
be video. It's just that we didn't have power. We're gonna commit to video, and we hope you guys love it.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. See you on the next one. Stay safe. Use short condoms.
Don't watch midget porn.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye.